Hello folks, it's Friday, 9:19, early in the morning in the central U.S. I have a few things to talk about, so I might ramble a little bit. I called this Friday instead of weekends. I reserve the right to do another in the next couple of days. I kind of felt I shouldn't last weekend because I called it a weekend update. First on the deaths. Getting a little bit of conflicting report, but again, these are all dated. They're all at least a day old, and they're not complete, really. I've heard 2600, 2620, 2630. So be assured it's much higher than that. I'll talk in a minute about the actual number of cases and mortality rate. A couple of the headlines I wanted to talk about. The deaths in Guinea. And I thought I heard 8 at first, now I hear 6. But healthcare workers to spread awareness. 3 journalists were with them in Guinea, in the outback, so to speak. So 3 workers and 3 journalists. That's really a tragedy, and it shouldn't happen. Another thing, I see that on the map exactly, which I've talked about, where the outbreak started late last year, with a very young girl got it. See, her grandmother cared for her, of course, like a 2-year-old girl, and then the grandmother got it, and then I think 3 other members of the family got it. And this was going on November, December, January, February, early this year. And Guacadu is the town according to this map, and indeed it's right in Guinea near the border where Sierra Leone and Liberia meet. It's very, very close, and I've talked about that. But unfortunately, very randomly throughout Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia, the cases have spread. And I mentioned the other 3 countries. The worst situation is Nigeria. It seems to be under control in Congo and certainly in Senegal. But Nigeria, with so many, 170, 80 million population, that's a cause for concern. I talk a little bit again about the actual mortality rate, and I heard the Dr. Nyman speaking last night. It's not 47 or 50%. He's absolutely right. The WHO, and I think it's the OMS and Francais, they don't count recovery. They count people still in the hospital. The actual rate is probably up to 80%, give or take some big margin ever, like 10% or 12%. In history, the worst case was 88%. This doesn't seem to be much less than that. I think it was the 76 outbreak had 88% mortality rate. So the mortality rate is real high. And on the numbers, again, it's got to be way over 5,000 now. It could be 15, 20,000, like officials, so-called health officials, have stated. And a doubling, people agreeing more with my numbers of every 3 weeks. Again, I see a headline, every month it's doubling. That's incorrect. It's much faster than that, and it's close to about 3 weeks, which you can count on 4 or 5% more cases every day, something like that. But 20, 40,000, it looks like we're going to get there, 100,000 cases. Things have to be controlled better. There's some control. It looks like 100,000 is more likely in the next couple of months. Again, we're looking ahead. As a futurist or someone who predicts the future, you look ahead. The further on down the road you look, the dimmer things are. As you get further on the road, you see the landmarks much closer. You can make a better judgment of what's going to happen just ahead. So this is one of the problems with the predictions. I would hope it wasn't get much over 100,000. Again, I've talked about 400,000 not very long into next year number of cases. And some people have talked about much higher numbers, but I think they're causing unnecessary fear a little bit. And I've been on almost 6 minutes, and this has been a long update. So I'm going to say good luck, folks.